What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about former NFL player Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams made some very interesting comments about why he changed his name. And he changed it due to the fact of the imbalance he felt in his marriage. He felt like whenever his wife is around, she feels inferior to him due to his fame, right? Apparently, she's very well known and respected in her field and what she does, but when they're together, you know, he's more recognized. It's very ridiculous and very weird to me how Ricky can feel like by changing his last name to his wife's last name that's going to make things better. That's your modern marriage. She feels so insecure about his notoriety that he felt that things would be better in their marriage if he would take her last name to fix the imbalance that's in the marriage. If your wife is that thin-skinned and has that much of an ego, then this isn't going to be the last time there's this quote-unquote imbalance. And that's what, unfortunately, a lot of men nowadays, they have to bow down to their wives. I'm not saying that's what Ricky is doing, but that's the perception that Ricky is doing. And it does feel that way. People talk about partnerships and partnerships. Let me tell you something right now. You give her an inch, she's going to want a mile. You now taking her last name, she's going to want more and more. It's not going to fill that void that they have in themselves. All these people who are pro-marriage and you know, partnerships, what happens when that woman wants just a little bit more to fill out that void, man? It's never going to be enough. Why do you have to change your last name to make her feel good about herself? But that's where we are. That's how ridiculous it is. This is why so many websites are writing about this. Because they know it's ridiculous, but this is your modern marriage. You have to be partners. You have to fix the imbalance. The imbalance of what? You are a well-known pro football player, Heisman Trophy winner. Why do you have to minimize who you are as a man to make your wife feel more secure in that marriage? Isn't that what a relationship is for? You accept this person for all their flaws and all their successes, and you accept them for all their flaws and successes. Why do one have to diminish themselves to make the other feel good? That doesn't make any sense to me. But that's your modern marriages. You know, men have to do whatever it takes to make their wives feel good about themselves, including changing their last name to her last name. Now, they do have an astrology dating app together, and we'll get more into that later, but let's get into this article from the NY Post. It says, former NFL star Ricky Williams changed his name to fix marriage imbalance. Former Miami Dolphins running back Ricky Williams said it was really meaningful to legally change his name. During an appearance on the Dan Le Batard show, last week, Williams, who retired from the NFL in 2012, explained that he changed his name, Eric Mirren, to take the last name of his wife, Linnea. Williams went by Ricky throughout his illustrious NFL career, but his actual birth name is Eric. I did it probably a year and a half ago, made it official, the 45-year-old Williams said, something I've been thinking about and talking about, and I finally went through the steps. I went to the Social Security office with my marriage certificate, and I went through the process. It was quick and easy, and it felt meaningful, real meaningful. Williams was partly motivated to change his name in order to create more balance within his relationship with his wife. That is very petty to me. I'm sorry. It is very petty to me to change your last name in order to bring balance to the relationship. She met you and got with you and married you as Ricky Williams. Now, maybe she knows you as Eric, but you were already super famous. You were already super famous. You were already famous and already well known. how does that create balance? What it does, it shows who has the power in that relationship. And it obviously isn't Ricky. I found that that's been really powerful in creating ease, intimacy, and trust in my relationship, Williams said, explaining that he took an astrology class with his wife, which helped him to learn more about their dynamic as a couple. Williams, a former Heisman Trophy winner and NFL rushing leader, said his wife is an attorney, but his all-pro resume and fame would sometimes create imbalance within their relationship circles because people would forget about her. It's called being known. Let me just say this about Ricky. Would your wife want to be with you, Ricky, if you weren't Ricky Williams? Would you have the opportunity to date your wife if you weren't Ricky Williams? She's an attorney. That means that she's in a group of people who are professionals, right? Doctors, lawyers, CEOs. Those are probably the types of people she hangs around, right? If you weren't Ricky Williams, would you be able to have access to a woman like her? Let's just be real about this. So she met you and got with you when you were Ricky Williams. That means that while you were dating, while you were engaged, while you then eventually got married, you were Ricky Williams. People always knew you as that. So this wouldn't be, so why does it become a problem that when you step into the room, people know who you are? Well, I mean, and how does that change that, Ricky? Like, the only person that changes anything for is her. When you're together, more people are going to know who you are than her. One, because she is an attorney. She's not really a public figure. You're the public figure. So this is to soothe her ego. Your wife has an ego. And again, she might be a good person, but this to me says a lot more about ego. Your wife has an ego. She wants to feel like she has power in that relationship. That's all it's about. Most Western women want power in a relationship. They don't care about having a man who's a leader and all that. They care more about quote unquote partnerships. But what does your wife give up for that partnership? It seems to me that you're doing more than she is, because I'm telling you right now, it's never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough for her. But if that's what you like and it helps your marriage, then so be it, you know? One of the ideas that popped into my mind was I can take her last name, Williams said. I think it's cool. It's somewhere where we can both win. The former first round pick was also motivated to change his legal name because he said Williams is not even really his last name. It's one of those family secrets, he said. My grandma, obviously back then, you don't say anything. And so Williams was her husband's name, but wasn't my dad's father. So Williams is not even really my last name. And if you go back far enough, it's the idea of it's a slave name. But you're taking the last name of a white woman, Ricky. You're taking the last name of a Caucasian lady. So I think of what is even the purpose of a last name, and I find more meaning in this last name than Williams. Well, that's just sad. That lets me know that your family means nothing. The last name of your family means nothing to you, Ricky. And you've had to have these discussions with your wife, and she agrees with it. The former NFL running back was a standout at the University of Texas before he was drafted by the Saints with the 5th overall pick in the 1999 NFL draft. He went on to play 11 seasons in the NFL, mostly with the Dolphins, and spent his last year with the Ravens in 2011, rushing 108 times for 44 yards and 2 touchdowns. Anybody that saw Ricky play back in the day, early 2000s, Ricky was one of the best running backs I had ever seen in the NFL. This was in the early 2000s. One of the best running backs I've seen for somebody that the size that he was, because he weighed over 220. He ran with power and he ran with speed. But it also was a moment where he almost quit football because of, I believe, the anxiety issues he had. And he wanted to smoke marijuana, but the NFL policies wouldn't allow players to do that. So he was forced to come back to football. Let's be real. The Dolphins forced him to come back because of his contract. And he still ended up playing for a stretch of time, right? And one of the things I think that made Ricky's second portion of his NFL career probably more enjoyable for him was that he wasn't the guy. You know, they had drafted Ronnie Brown, and he basically was the backup to Ronnie Brown. And I think he liked that more than being put in that spotlight, doing all the post-game interviews. These guys do post-game interviews with a helmet on. So he preferred, I think, taking more of a background role, being more of a role player, a team guy, right? That seems to be what he is in his marriage as well. Again, if that's the choice he made, that's the choice he made. He knows what was best for him and his wife. I don't. I'm just speaking on it, and I just think it's incredibly weird that men feel that they have to diminish the life that they have built, the name that they built, the brand. Because let's be real, Ricky, when you do TV, he did TV for the University of Texas, right? When you do TV and you do appearances, are you Eric Moran or are you Ricky Williams? When you do those appearances, when you do things, I don't know if he does it now. I know he did University of Texas TV a couple of years back. I don't know if he still does it for football. But you're Ricky Williams. You're not Eric Moran. If you are, it is what it is. It's the life you chose, man. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll see y'all next one.